Galactic Empire in New World. What will happen if the Galactic Empire suddenly appears in the New World?
There is a technological gap that no one in the New World can bridge. Magic versus the Force. Arrow and spear versus turbolaser.
Starwars versus Japan summon or Nihonkaku Shoukan.
Please like, subscribe, and turn on notification button to get new story every time I uploaded it.
Part 2, Chapter 6. 6 months later, Emperor is pleased with Travat's support for the Death Starter project. Thanks to Travat's help, the early stages of the Death Starter project, namely the collection of raw materials,
were able to run more smoothly than when making Death Star. Therefore, the Emperor gave permission to request additional starships and personnel to the Central Command. Travat was also granted a license to directly purchase and build its own military starships and starfighters.
The Emperor was so happy with Travat's help that he even forced Travat to accept some of the newly created Star Destroyers, and ordered Travat to develop a military base in Mito as a backup for pro-Emperor forces in case of unwanted things, which meant a coup d'etat that the Emperor had experienced.
Central Command is also quite happy because Travat places more emphasis on old Republican ships than modern ships.
This reduces the number of old starships in Central Command and provides a reason for Central Command to buy new ships. The ships were quickly taken from various mouthball fleets and manned by crew and officers who had just graduated from the academy. However, Travat screened the crew and military personnel sent to him, avoiding any spies or supporters of other factions in the Galactic Empire. This was because not everyone was happy with the Emperor's support for Travat.
Admiral Crumble has discovered 5 new planets in the unknown region that can be used as new outposts.
Of the 5 planets,
a planet was chosen that was in a giant nebula in which there was also a black hole, orbited by a red giant star to be built as the main outpost.
The planet was chosen because it is quite hidden. It is difficult to detect any activity on the planet, and the traces of hyperspace also quickly fade due to the influence of black holes. The planet was named the planet Terminus.
Currently, construction of the outpost is underway, and various mines are being built
on the planet's surface, while shipyards are also being built in orbit. Although the shipyard is still under construction, it is already operational and
is currently building the Golan defense platform for the defense of the planet Terminus. Other planets also have built outposts on their surfaces, but their construction
is not prioritized and they are only used for supply outpost only.
However, an adequate defense system is still being built at the outpost. Travat has also started recruiting experts in starship and starfighter design. They will be asked to make a new design for the starship that will be made in Mito.
The design of the new starship will be given direct input by Travat. Travat wants the design of the starships not only to follow the standards in Star Wars fiction, but also in other fiction, such as Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, and so on. Not to forget, weapons designers and general scientists were also recruited to improve Mito's technological capabilities in general. The current status of the troops in the Mito sector is as follows. Home Fleet Admiral ADAD Iska commanding 3 Imperial-class Star Destroyer, 3 Victory-class Star Destroyer,
2 Interdictor Cruiser,
8 Dreadnought Heavy Cruiser, 8 Lorona Strike Cruiser,
20 Carrack-class Light Cruiser, 6 Nebula B Frigate, 24 CR-90 Corvette, 30 Gazanti Cruiser, 1st Defense Fleet Admiral Druna Arkina commanding 1 Imperial-class Star Destroyer,
3 Victory-class Star Destroyer, 1 Interdictor Cruiser,
12 Dreadnought Heavy Cruiser,
8 Carrack-class Light Cruiser,
10 CR-90 Corvette, 20 Gazanti Cruiser,
Expedition Fleet Admiral Crumble Kashif commanding 1 Victory-class Star Destroyer, 10 Dreadnought Heavy Cruiser,
20 Carrack Light Cruiser, 25 CR-90 Corvette,
40 Gazanti-class Cruiser, Travat Private Fleet Commander Derek Kolskov commanding 6 Venator to Star Destroyer,
4 Dreadnought Heavy Cruiser, 10 Carrack Light Cruiser,
12 CR-90 Corvette.
In addition, there are almost 30 small starships as a patrol system under the command of Armida General Krakow.
The patrol ships were divided among all the habitable planets in the Mito sector. The Home Fleet and the 1st Defense Fleet have their main base on planet Mito.
Likewise, with Trevat's private fleet.
However, the expedition fleet has been moved by Trivat to planet Terminus to protect the planet.
Because on that planet there are a lot of infrastructure development activities. Part of the 1st Defense Fleet and General Armida's patrol ships protect the planet Kyoto.
In addition to military ships, Mito now also has 200 cargo ships and 150 passenger ships. The starships are used to move families of personnel stationed in the Mito sector and transport materials for the construction of various new facilities in the Mito sector, including shipyards, outposts, mining stations, and others. The starships barely stopped flying across the galaxy and back to Mito.
Due to the sheer number of infrastructure projects financed both by Mito sector itself,
the Galactic Empire as part of the Emperor's directive, and by Trivat personally financing.
The infrastructure project activities, which require a lot of logistics, have also attracted other private starships to come to Mito and look for a transportation business in Mito. As a result, in total, the starships that carry both cargo and passenger ships looking for a transportation business reach more than 1,000 ships. As a result of this increase in business and infrastructure development, many temporary workers also came to the Mito sector, which in turn boosted the economy of the Mito sector.
For planetary defense,
Planet Mito now has planetary defenses
in the form of 6 Golan 2 defense platforms and 2 Golan 3 defense platforms. Plus, several space station platforms have weapons and starfighter squadrons. Of course, Planet Mito also has a planetary shield to protect the entire planet at once and is
backed up by a theta shield that protects important parts of Planet Mito. Meanwhile, another habitable planet in the Mito sector, namely the planet Kyoto, has a defense in the form of 4 Golan I defense platforms. A planetary shield is also under construction, but the main cities are already protected by theta shields. Planet Terminus also has a similar status. The main city has been protected by a theta shield, but the planetary shield has not yet been turned on. All planets are also equipped with ground-to-space weapons to deal with attacks from starships if needed. Almost all sectors of Mito are seeded with sensor probes and holonet repeaters so that it is almost impossible
for a ship or fleet hiding in deep space to be able to attack one of the planets in the Mito sector. This sensor also causes the activity of pirates and rebellions to be very minimal. In addition, there were almost 500,000 new military personnel, of which 400,000 were crew members who came to Mito.
The remaining 100,000 consisted of 50,000 stormtroopers and another 50,000 troops.
This doesn't include support staff, who are mostly civilians and make up a larger number than the main military staff.
As a result of the policy of relocating the families of personnel stationed in Mito, there were an additional 15 million new residents in the Mito sector.
There was also an increase in Mito's economy in general due to the influence of the new population growth, which resulted in the emergence of new businesses and many galaxy-level businesses that opened branches in Mito, attracted by the increasing market share. Of the 15 million new residents, 1 million went to the planet Terminus. However, immigration to the planet Terminus has increased very rapidly,
so that in the future it is expected that the planet will have more inhabitants than Mito. Currently, the population distribution in Mito is as follows. Planet Mito and its moon, 111 million.
Planet Kyoto, 36 million.
Planet Terminus, 2 million.
Various outpost, mining colony and space station, 4 million. Mito orbit. Governor Trevat's personal shuttlecraft.
Governor Trivat will welcome the arrival of a special Star Destroyer bestowed by the Emperor.
The Star Destroyer was made quickly with special specifications,
and had special equipment that only personal Star Destroyers had from some of the top people at Imperial, including the Emperor himself, which had cloaking device equipment and used a new reactor that had an output almost 2 times larger with the same dimensions.
However, it only consumes 30% more hypermatter fuel than conventional hypermatter reactors. The Star Destroyer was built using the Imperial Star Destroyer 2 as a build base. The ship was actually going to be given to someone else, but that person failed the appraisal of all the leaders of the Galactic Empire after the Empire lost its Death Star in the Battle of Yavin. Even though the person was only given a warning, the Emperor decided not to give the person a personal Star Destroyer, and the one that had been made was given to the governor of Trivat. Apart from having these two special devices, Governor Trivat has also increased the ability of his shield. The Star Destroyer has a double shield system, where the second system has 80% of the ability of the main shield. In addition, the shield system has the ability to be reconfigured by using all shield devices that were still there at the time of the battle, and the first and second shields that were damaged due to the battle to form a new shield system,
thereby increasing the resilience of the shield system. The weaponry was also upgraded by adding 10 more turbolasers. In addition, the hangar space has also been upgraded so that it can carry 96 TIE fighters. Automation has also been increased to the point where the Star Destroyer can theoretically be manned by only 20,000 crew members.
The Star Destroyer is called Mito. After waiting for a while, it appeared that several starships flickered into existence, coming out of hyperspace. You can see one Star Destroyer accompanied by 4 dreadnought cruisers,
10 large passenger ships, and 6 cargo ships moving slowly towards Mito's orbit.
The passenger ship contained the families of all the crew of the newly arrived military ships, plus those about to migrate to the Mito sector.
Governor Trivat's shuttlecraft quickly approached the Star Destroyer, Mito, and
entered the docking space that was at the bottom of the Star Destroyer.
When Governor Trivat came out of the shuttle, he was greeted by the leader of the Star Destroyer,
Mito, and also the leader of the newly arrived small fleet, Captain Ishel, who is temporarily appointed Commodore. Captain Ai is a talented young officer found by Trivat.
Currently, Captain Ai is still 28 years old, but has become a captain.
This shows her very good ability. Captain Ai is one of the youngest captains in the Galactic Empire.
Captain Ai comes from a planet that doesn't really support the Empire, and because of that, Captain Ai's career is hampered. Captain Ai was found by Trivat when he visited Coruscant as captain of a patrol craft.
After Trivat visited the military base there, and looked at the service records of people who might be able to transfer to Mito. Previously, Captain Ai served as EXO of a Victory-class Star Destroyer.
Her ability to lead has been proven in various battles, and when she was the captain of a patrol boat of the Arquitans class.
The light cruiser became the ship that had a record of catching the most smugglers and rebel ships trying to infiltrate Coruscant.
Trivat chooses to recruit Captain Ai to become the leader of the new battle fleet that will be created by Mito.
Commodore Ai Ishley is at your service, sir, said Captain Ai.
Trivat was amazed, because it turned out that Captain Ai had a very beautiful face with a tall and slim body, black hair and blue eyes.
Her uniform makes Captain Ai even more stunning, exuding her elegance, firmness, and beauty.
Even though Trivat often saw beautiful women while on Earth and in the Empire, no one could compete with Captain Ai,
except for models and actresses who were only seen on TV and in movies on Earth.
If on Earth, there is a mixture of Eastern and Western beauty,
which can be seen in the color of the skin, which, although white, still has color. Even though he looks stunning, Captain Ai doesn't seem to use a lot of makeup.
Beauty and intelligence, a deadly combination, thought Trivat.
Thank you. What is the condition of this Star Destroyer? Asked Governor Trivat.
All systems are running well, Governor.
There were no problems during the trip. Star Destroyer Mito is fully combat ready, answered Captain Ai. They walked towards the bridge of the Star Destroyer Mito.
Captain Ai, I want you to lead the new fleet that we will build.
For the time being, the new battle fleet will consist of a Victory Star Destroyer and all the existing dreadnought heavy cruisers you carried from Quart. We will allocate several other ships, especially light ships, to be placed under your command. Governor Trivat said. Understood. I accept your offer, said Captain Ai.
We will make your Commodore rank permanent so you can command the fleet,
said Governor Trivat.
I thank you very much for the opportunity you have given me,
said Captain Ai.
I will appoint your EXO here as the captain of Mito after you are appointed as the leader of the new battle fleet,
Trivat said. Trivat decided he would pay more attention to Captain Ai in the future. This is because Captain Ai has very good abilities when viewed from his service record,
and Trivat is secretly quite stunned at Captain Ai's beauty. They continued walking towards the main bridge to inspect the state of the Star Destroyer Mito.
In the afternoon, Governor Trevat's office. Governor Trevat was meeting with Dr. Hikem Kasumi, one of the galaxy's top starship designers. Dr. Hikem Kasumi had agreed to work in Mito as a designer of new ship designs. Welcome, Dr. Hikem Kasumi.
It is a pleasure to meet you, and you are welcome to join us, Trevat said as he shook Dr. Hikem's hand.
Thank you, Governor. It is an honor for me to work here.
You taking me in when I get into trouble is a gift to me,
Dr. Hikem said. Dr. Hikem Kasumi is best known these days for his mistakes in the design of the shuttle prototype. The prototype exploded and killed all of its passengers, one of whom happened to be a high-ranking official of the Galactic Empire. Actually, the fault was not in the design, but rather in the underspecified power coupling components,
which were unable to deliver power according to the maximum rating promised. But under normal conditions, where only 20% of the maximum rating is delivered, nothing happens.
The shuttle prototype had developed a fault in its reactor during test flight, and it gave off a spike of energy that the power coupling could not handle. However, Dr. Hikem Kasumi received the blame for creating the shuttle system,
because the company that produced the power coupling belonged to a close friend of the Emperor. Because of this, Dr. Hikem Kasumi had been out of work for months and even received a lawsuit from the shuttle accident. Although the lawsuit was dismissed, it had a huge impact on Dr.
Hikem Kasumi. Governor Trevat was the only person who would accept Dr. Hikem Kasumi for work. You are one of the best.
I have also seen the incident, and you are innocent,
Trevat said.
Oh, I see.
You know that,
said Dr. Hikem Kasumi in a more excited tone.
That's right. That's why I hired you at our shipyard. Trevat said, I have many ideas about starships that I would like to share with you so that they can be realized. I will strive to make it happen, Governor, Dr. Hikem Kasumi said.
Oh yes, I invite you to create a team under you to work with you in designing the ships I want,
Trevat said. Really, thank you very much, Governor.
I will contact the people I know.
Don't worry, they are the best in their field. Can I hire about 30 people? Asked Dr. Hikem Kasumi.
Of course, if necessary. You can hire far more so that you can make many designs at once,
Trevat said. Just hire as many as possible.
All right, then, Dr. Hikem Kasumi said.
First of all, I would like you to redesign the Star Destroyer and Dreadnought cruiser to reduce the number of crew required.
I have always found the manual firing of turbolasers and other weapons to be a waste of both manpower and power for starships.
Can you make the mounting of those weapons automatic?
If possible, use droid brains and droids as the gun crew,
Trevat said.
You want to make it like the droid ship from the Clone Wars?
Asked Dr. Hikem Kasumi. No, I still want humans in the decision-making process. But automate as far as possible, Trevat said.
Well, I will design around that and look for ways to reduce
the number of crew required on starships, in this case Star Destroyers and Dreadnoughts, Dr. Hikem Kasumi said.
Very good, Doctor,
Trevat said.
Oh yes, like you, all those who will be hired must live with their families in Mito. We are trying to improve our economy, so population growth is one of our main concerns.
Well, I will tell that to the people we will be hiring, Dr. Hikem Kasumi said.
Oh, yes. Can a number of turbolasers be put together in an automatic mount?
This will increase the firepower without adding mount points, Trevat said. Of course you can, Governor, Dr. Hikem Kasumi said.
They continued to discuss the various designs of starships and automated weapon systems.
Trevat basically requested to reduce the number of crew required by a ship as much as possible. End of Part 2, Chapter 6.